Hello everyone, it's Daniella here. So my last video on how to teach yourself any language got quite a few comments asking for an update on my Russian learning, so here it is. Like I mentioned, I tried and tested this method on other languages too, so Spanish and Italian for example, and it does work, so give it a go yourself. So down to business, I will quickly recap notes and my methods, and then I will show you what I have learnt since my last video. Here I always write down useful links online, so online dictionaries or online learning apps, you know, Duolingo I think a lot of people know, that you can use to learn the language outside. You want to be looking at categories like countries, nationalities, languages. I went on to the colours. I only coloured in the words in the colour rather than writing their translation, because then I would rather look at the translation than actually at the Russian word. Here are the time phrases, so I've got all of my months and my days of the week. Animals. So where we finished off in my last video was body parts. So coming on to what I have learnt since then, health vocabulary. So how to say if you're ill, if something hurts, if you're going to the doctors, you need a doctor, anything like that. I would find the translations either from a dictionary, even Google Translate, which is, you know, good for these things as well, if it's just a simple sentence. I also went on to do professions, small words with big meanings. I think these are very important words. These are words not just like small prepositions in, on, at, but words that are connectives and, but, also, or, still, because, already, so, then, only. You know, these are all words that you will find yourself really needing when you're trying to have a conversation with a native speaker. Then I moved on to do food and drink. I've colour-coded it, so everything in orange is food, everything in pink is meal times, breakfast, lunch and dinner. Everything in the green is, you know, cutlery, crockery, things like that. And then everything in the yellow is drink. Here are members of the family, anything to do with people really, so I've also written down the word for people, for adults, for children, but also, of course, mother, father, daughter, son. I've done my sports, and again with my drawings to make it exciting for me to look at so it doesn't get boring. Yeah, just a little bit more grammar, like I said in my last video. Try and make it as simple as possible for yourself so you don't get bogged down in all the lengthy, wordy explanations. I've done around the city, so I've got all the different you know, museum, train, bus, monument, university, hospital, lake, river, anything, you know, that might come up when you're talking about the city or trying to get around the city. How to form the past tense. Usually in every language there is a pattern of some sort, so just again write it down very simply for yourself which pattern you need, if it differs for males and females, for example. Then I did weather. Again, I've tried to draw it all so that it looks a bit more interesting, and I'm concentrating more on the words than on the translations. Conversational phrases on an app called Hello Talk. I have been practicing my Russian with native Russian speakers, and whilst I am practicing with them either on WhatsApp or Skype or whatever, of course I'm writing down lots of vocabulary that come up, which of course it will do if you're speaking to a native speaker. So, you know, even things like saying wow and saying well, okay, no problem, things like that are things that I would be writing down. These are all conjugations of useful verbs that I feel come up quite often in conversation. For example, the verb to live, I live, you live, he lives, she lives, they live, we live. To love, I love, you love, he loves. Again, another phrase, conversational phrases list. And here we have prepositions and their cases. So if you are learning French or Italian or Spanish or English, for example, this won't be relevant to you at all because you don't have cases. But if you are learning a language with cases, then this is a very useful thing to do, to separate each preposition to its case. Then we have directions. Again, I have tried to draw all of the directions and locations, so to the left of, to the right of, or in front of, or go straight on, go left, go right. And then questions at the bottom that you could find useful. Where are you going, or where are you coming from? Where is, blah, blah, blah. Then we have a little bit more grammar here. Dates, how to say the date and what day it is. In the shop and in the restaurant, so I've actually looked up online the currency converter and then written it out for myself. When I was doing numbers, I didn't really think it would be very useful for me to learn maybe over 100, 200, but it turns out because the rubles, as they have in Russia, they do go up to that amount of money in a price, so it is useful for me, at least, to learn up to 10,000. So I've written all the numbers out, up to 10,000. Again, you can learn the pattern so you don't have to write out every number. And for the restaurant, again, I've gone online and I've looked up any useful phrases for in the restaurant. For example, I would like, or could I have the bill please, could I have a dessert please, my food is cold, non-smoking please, things like that. Ordinal numbers, so not just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and then apartments or buildings, rooms in the apartment, things in a room. What I've done here is I've actually drawn out my own apartment so that I can actually relate to it on a personal level and that it makes more sense to me. What I would also like to show you is the textbooks and the workbooks that I have also bought. So this is a course book in German, sorry, which also belongs with the workbook. So these two books belong together. They also have audio CDs, so I can listen to, for example, here a dialogue and then answer them questions about it. So that's what I do. That's it. That's my progress at the moment in Russian, and I hope you're making progress too, and I hope this video helps, and I wish you all the best with your language learning.